I'm going to tell y'all, just like I told this woman in my DMs recently, like, never, ever ignore a man's energy. Ever. Because it's not going to lie to you. And those of you who met a man and you ignored his energy, you eventually found out this the hard way. But never ignore a man's energy. It's not going to lie to you. Matter of fact, how many of y'all, by show of hands in the comments, have dated a guy as you were getting to know him, something just didn't seem right? Maybe on paper he was cool, he was handsome, he had his money right, y'all had good conversation and stuff like that, but something didn't seem right. And even whenever things would arise and you would bring it to his attention, it's like he had an answer for everything. And his answers kind of made sense. Like, you couldn't necessarily pinpoint the problem, but something still didn't seem right. What was happening then was his energy was telling you that something ain't right. And it ain't got to be super specific. You know, if the energy is telling you something ain't right, something ain't right. But the problem I've seen is a lot of y'all doubt your intuition. Now, if you came into a dating situation and you were broken, you haven't healed from your last relationship, absolutely doubt your intuition, because that's probably your wound speaking and looking for danger anywhere. That's what happens whenever you've been broken. You look for danger anywhere that it could be, and that's literally in everything. So I'm not talking about that. But if you know that you at least came into a dating effort functional, not 100%, but functional, like you're good, and your intuition was picking up on something from his energy, don't necessarily think automatically, oh, I got trust issues. A lot of y'all ain't got trust issues. A man's energy is letting you know he's not trustworthy. That's what that is. And that's the reluctance when you try to trust him and you just can't. Like, something is making it hard. Something is just causing your guard to stay up. His energy is letting you know something ain't right. Because yes, actions speak louder than words, but a man's energy will introduce himself before he says or does anything to you. Now, we're going to get into this in just a little bit. Let me first make sure I'm coming through clearly. Put in the comments, if you can hear and you can see me clearly, put in the comments your city and state where you're tuning in from. Where y'all tuning in at? If you can hear and see me right now, put your city, put your state, where you're tuning in from. Or go give me a thumbs up, a heart, something. Let me know we're coming through clearly. And then we can get this popping. Okay. I see him coming in. What's up, y'all? All right. So first off, like, ladies, y'all ever dated a dude and say, for instance, y'all talking about his day, his week, maybe some situations he's gone through if y'all been dating a little while, a couple of weeks or something like that. And in every situation of conflict, he's a victim. Y'all ever put I down in the chat if you've ever been talking to a dude, just getting to know him, and in every situation, he's the one that's being attacked. Everybody else is wrong. There's no accountability. You never hear the part unless you literally have to pull it out. What he did wrong, what he could have done better, what he could have done to prevent a situation. He's just a victim. That's his energy letting you know that, yes, in his mind, he is a default victim. And then what you can expect whenever you get into a relationship with this guy is for him to continue being the victim. So if he's telling you, oh, him and his ex went through this, that, and the other. Him and his mama and daddy went through this, that, and the other. Him and a friend, him and a coworker, a business associate, or whatever, went through this, that, and the other. And you never hear things like, you know what, but I could have done this better. This person didn't deserve these particular actions from me. I know better now, not just don't trust this person, but, I had to improve. I had to be better about how I came into situations because I didn't bring the best out of X, Y, and Z. If you don't hear that, his energy is letting you know he's not an accountable person, or if whenever you're dealing with a dude, it just feels really sexual. Every conversation has to somehow make its way back to sex in some shape, form, or fashion. He's letting you know what he's been opening the spirit up to, which is what helps create a man's energy. That's what a person's energy is. It's their thought patterns, their beliefs, they've opened their spirits up to, the things that they haven't addressed, long-standing things that were there before they ever came to know you. That creates their energy. So if he always has to have something sexual to talk about in order to keep his attention, he's letting you know, his energy is letting you know he's focused on the sex part of you. Nothing else. Nothing else. That was his energy. It wasn't you just thinking every man wants sex or whatever. Don't take that gaslighting bait that a lot of society will try to get y'all to think, oh yeah, a man's naturally going to be visual, a man's naturally going to be sexual. There's so much more to find out about you whenever y'all are first dating that proportionately the energy should be spent there if he's at all interested in that. But back to what I was saying. Y'all ever dated somebody? Put I down in the chat if you ever dated a guy or talked to a guy, and every time y'all talk, whenever it came to your accomplishments or what you're interested in, that maybe he's not, you notice the conversation getting dry. You notice that the text messages slowed up. You notice he didn't have that much to say. He maybe, just congratulations or good job. And then he's pretty much switching the subject or something like that. Put I down in the chat if you ever dated a guy like that. I already seen somebody say narcissist. It may or may not be narcissistic. You know, something doesn't have to be narcissistic in order to be toxic, but his energy is letting you know you're going to have to be this small in order to make a relationship work with him. He's not interested. His energy is letting you know he don't care nothing about what you're doing, what you succeed in, what you're interested in. So that's how much support you can expect. And that's how much investment you can expect whenever y'all get into a relationship. His energy is not going to lie. Don't ignore that. Or even worse, like, shoot, man, this is what I was talking about to the young lady in my DM. She was asking me like, oh, what happens whenever he says this as far as I don't want a relationship, but then he acts like he wants a relationship. I don't know how many of y'all been in that situation. But I always say this, even though, yes, actions speak louder than words and all of that, typically I'll say go with his words on that. But the truth is, even his energy is letting you know, no, he doesn't want a relationship because he's acting like he wants a relationship. His energy is saying he wants relationship benefits without the relationship. That's what his energy is saying. Because I guarantee you, in a situation where a dude is saying, I don't want a relationship, but then he acts kind of boyfriendly or husbandly, whatever, bring up him dealing with other women. Bring up, you know, whether or not he's smashing other women or you know, when he's going to be with another woman, how many women, etc., and watch the energy shift. Bring up any of those accountability of relationships, like construct types of things, and watch things shift. Bring up anything where he needs to be sacrificial without getting anything in return, and watch the energy shift. Watch the energy get dry. That's letting you know. Bring up anything long-term. Commitment, anything that y'all could be doing long term. That's what happens in a relationship. Y'all have some type of direction to go forward. Watch his energy shift. That's what I'm talking about when I say a man's energy don't lie. But the worst type of energy to ignore from a man is whenever his energy says he don't want to be around you at all, or he care less. It's not really a priority. Look, anytime a man's energy tells you, or you pick up from his energy, that he's trying to avoid you, never disturb him again. Never disturb him again, because what you're going to communicate from there is that if he pulls away, if he runs away, you're willing to chase. You're willing to chase him at the sacrifice of your standards. You're not going to hold firm where you're at with what you require and what your needs are, but you're willing to do any and everything just to keep him present. And I'm not saying that in a serious relationship, things are always going to be 50-50, because I understand a man's capacity can go up and down just the same way a woman's can. But in a serious relationship or a marriage especially, you know, that's more fitting. Where everything ain't going to be 50-50 or 100-100. Some days you going to have your bad days and not have the same capacity to engage. Same thing go vice versa. Y'all going to have depressions and all that. That's seasons of through thick and thin. But you can't apply marital techniques to the dating scene and expect success. The dating stage ain't for no through thick and thin. The dating stage is for don't waste my time. When I see a red flag, I'm out. Y'all trying to build a foundation. So if he just got introduced to who you are, what kind of woman you are, and how intriguing you are, how interesting you are, etc., and he's already starting to get kind of half-stepping a little bit, he's already half interested in what you got going on, he's already kind of inconsistent, he already has this like shoe fly shoe type of energy going on, and you subject yourself to that, now that's going to convolute your energy. And whenever your energy gets tainted, it ends up repelling the very type of man that you deserve. The type of man who is intrigued with you. Like, if his energy is saying, I want to a la carte you, I only want you whenever it's this time of night or for this particular purpose, and you subject yourself to that, you're not going to be welcoming to a man who wants the full package of you, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365. And the same thing that happens when you're dealing with a man, you subject yourself to a man with that type of energy, or the vice versa happens whenever you get with an evolved man who, again, does want all of you, who does want to be around you, who appreciates your presence. Not just because you're going to take it away from him, but because he really just cherishes the fact that he has the privilege of getting to know you. And when you let a man like that love you, properly love you, should I say, because there's a difference between just love and being properly loved. But whenever you let a man properly love you like that, he brings the best out of you. Now you get to maximize yourself and meet a higher level version of yourself than what you even knew was possible. You get to experience happiness on a more consistent level than what you thought was possible. You get to experience peace of mind and good sleep at night, and, you know, orgasms in the bedroom because you feel so emotionally safe with a man before he ever touches your body, more than what you thought was possible. I talk more in depth about that. Man, the way a woman will glow different whenever she's properly loved. I talk more about that in my masterclass, Benefits of a Properly Loved Woman. Over an hour, we went in on that and how to evaluate a man who can and will love you properly, who has both the capacity and the equipment. More concepts that we broke down in the masterclass, so I'm not going to do it here. If you haven't gotten access yet, y'all see that comment pinned right here? It's got a link in it. Click that right now. Get access to that masterclass. Again, it's absolutely free, but it's coming out soon. Benefits of a Properly Loved Woman. It's also in the caption whenever you back out. But back to what I was saying, don't ignore a man's energy. A lot of people try to come at women, I think, and say that, women that do this are thirsty or they're just super naive. And there may be some level of naivete in that. Don't get me wrong. But I think a lot of times y'all ignore a man's energy for one of two reasons. Either not only because you're attracted to him, but a lot of y'all operate as if everybody got the same heart as you. Like they got the same values, they coming in the same place. They want the same thing. It's just like your heart is big. So of course everybody else's heart is big. Your intentions are pure. So of course everybody else's intentions is pure. And that's not the case. That's not the case. And the rest of y'all, I believe, you're just so intentional about what you want in your relationship life that you're not going to let obstacles stop you. You're serious about what you want. But let me say this, when it comes to your physical health, getting in shape and stuff like that, apply that rule by all means. When it comes to your profession, going to get in the bag, apply that rule, do your thing. But when it comes to relationships, if a man's demons is the obstacle, if a man's half interest is the obstacle, if a man's bad character is the obstacle, if a man's integrity is the obstacle, let those obstacles stop you. Let them stop you. Those are all red flags, and red flags that get ignored turn into regrets. But those are just my thoughts. Share this if you got anything from it. I'm about to post it. Share this right now in your timeline for somebody else who might need to hear it. And don't forget to get access. If you want more on the ways that a woman changes, the ways that she glows up whenever she's properly loved by a man who can and will love her properly, click that link. It's pinned down here in the comments. It's also in the caption whenever you back out, in the description whenever you back out. Get access to that masterclass before it comes down. Benefits of a Properly Loved Woman.